And finally, let me show you how to add a search bar on top of this list view. So if I type M or MO, we get only the contacts that start with the search phrase. Or if I delete this, I get the entire list. So to add a search bar, first we add a search bar element here. Now, because we have multiple elements on this page, we need to wrap them with a stack layout. So stack layout, like this. Now this search bar has a few properties. One of them is placeholder, which is the text that is displayed when the search bar is empty. I'm going to set this to search. We also have a few presentational properties like placeholder color or text color or font size, font family, font attributes, and so on. But I'm going to leave it up to you to experiment with these properties. Now, this search bar has a couple of events that we can handle to implement searching. The one that we use often is text changed. Let's generate a handler. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So in the code behind, here's our text changed event handler. And here's getContext method that you have seen earlier. So in the constructor, I simply call getContacts when initializing the list view. Now, to implement searching, first of all, I'm going to add a parameter here. String search text, and I'm going to make it optional by setting it to null. Now here's our entire list of contacts. First, I want to check if the search text is empty or white space. If it is, I want to return all contacts. Otherwise, I'm going to filter them. So if string is null or white space of search text, return all contacts. Otherwise, I'm going to use link to filter my records. Return contacts.where C goes to C.name starts with search text. Now we have a red underline here because this where method returns an IEnumerable, but the return type of our method is list. One way to solve this is to call toList here. Another way is to change the return type of this method to IEnumerable. What's the difference? Well, in this case, we don't really need the list functionality. We simply call getContacts right here to get an IEnumerable of contact. That's the data type for item source. So I would rather to go with IEnumerable. Now, one more thing you need to know here is that in this case, in this example, we're hard coding the list of contacts in this class. In a real world application, that's rarely the case. Instead, our contacts are either stored in a database locally on the mobile device or somewhere else that we can access using a remote service. Now, I'm going to talk about calling remote services or storing data locally on a device. So for now, don't worry about these complexities. What I want you to take away instead is how to use a search bar in relation with the list view. So back in our text changed event handler, we have an argument here, text changed event args. So e dot, and here we can get the new text value or the old text value. I'm going to get this and pass it to our getContacts method. So getContacts. Now this returns an IEnumerable of contact. So I can simply set listview.itemSource to this method. That's all we have to do. Let's test the application. All right, so I type M, okay. Filtering is working. Now I remove this. We get all contacts. Beautiful. Now we have another event here called search button pressed. This is another way to implement searching. So instead of filtering records as the user types each character, we'll filter them when the user presses the search button. Which event you use depends on your application. But these days, we tend to use text change event more often. And that brings us to the end of this section. I hope you enjoyed this section and thank you for watching.